Your mom probably helped him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by GhostBed.com. Oh, Jabes. Oh, jobless.
What's up?
Man, I felt weird after yesterday's show.
Why?
Yesterday's show.
Why?
I felt strange about it. There's some times where I wonder if I've pushed it too far. Or I've taken things too far and I'm like, man, maybe the madness of the news is starting to get to me.
Get to you, yeah.
And I
you
was
don't
like,
believe anything.
Yes. I went on that whole huge rant yesterday. And there's days where I drive home from the studio where I'm like, fuck. I don't know if I should have said that or...
I didn't know you did that.
Sometimes. And I'm like, maybe that was insensitive or maybe that was too quick to judge on something. And, I usually get it right is the problem. And I hate to keep patting myself on the back because I'm going to be honest, my triceps are sore from doing it. But maybe I can see into the future.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I am Rostradamus. Maybe I do have psychic abilities.
You did say that yesterday, for sure.
Right? Like, all of this shit just keeps coming true, and I'm like, I think I could be clairvoyant.
Either that, or we've just been burned too many times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the news.
I guess.
That we're now more so going with our gut with stuff.
But here's the thing. So yesterday, I talked about this Bubba Wallace story and the plausibility that this noose wasn't real.
Right.
And that if it was, you would have 1 million cameras inside these garages because this equipment is so expensive. There's no way out of this one. If you would have came back and said, well, we don't have any camera footage. Sorry about that.
Right.
Then you would have been like, that's really suspicious, right? The fact that our federal government sent 15 FBI agents to investigate this shows the severity of what is happening in today's current landscape.
Mm-hmm.
And 15's a lot for a noose in a garage. It's a lot of FBI agents to send down there.
Right.
Yesterday, I had raised the possibility that, hey, man, maybe this didn't happen. Maybe this is a Jessie Smollett type of deal.
Sure.
I took some heat from a few people yesterday of like, hey, man, I don't know. And maybe you should have waited a day to see what happens. And I was like, look, all I did was raise the possibility. I don't know what happens, and I certainly hope it wasn't fake. It's exactly what I said yesterday.
That is. We did not say, and I even said like 100% I don't believe that Bubba Wallace is lying about something like this or going down that road. And that still is true, right?
It's not for me.
Okay, well, we should just go through the facts then.
We will. So,
okay.
But I will say this. This is what I was thinking about on the way home yesterday, where I was like, shit, man. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Right.
And then, luckily today, yeah, it's true. Ross was right again. Whatever. Big deal. I don't want a trophy. I'm not asking you out there at home to go into your local trophy shop and make me one.
Right.
But, if you want to, just Venmo me something, that's fine.
Sure.
I'm kidding. I don't even know if I have a Venmo, to be honest with you.
You don't.
I don't. Probably not.
I do.
But when I saw this story break yesterday, I was like, whoopsies, whoopsie ding dong.
Yeah.
How do you not know, if you're Bubba Wallace, what is going on inside your garage? And if there is a noose hanging there, wouldn't that be the first thing you ask your team is, I want to see it?
Yes, and so he said that he did. We're just going to go off what he said now. He said his team came to him, told him about the noose. He asked, is this real? Let's make 100% sure this is real. This is something, whatever. They said yes. That is it's a little murky, right?
Real murky to me, Jay.
Real murky.
I can't see anything through that water.
Right.
Nothing.
I 100%. Here's what I will tell you. The team that did this was probably all white people. Guilty white people that wanted to be like, we found, you know what I mean? We did it. We found this news. Like, don't worry about it. Like, let's have this whole parade down the thing. Like, we got you. No.
I don't buy it. And here's why. It was a rope for a garage, a pull down rope for a garage door. That is in every single racetrack in America. That rope exists.
I will say this. It was fashioned like a noose. And there's
a little
no
tiny one,
reason.
but
Yeah. Does
no
it
one,
need to be fashioned like that?
It could be fashioned anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
But what's the most easiest to pull something down? I have no fucking idea. But I would look at that and say, all right, that rope is attached to the garage door. Is there a possibility that this has been there for a long time and this is just how someone else chose to fucking open and close that door? It's so tiny. That's I don't understand. Like, I think you're taking things too far. And in a case like this, if you're Bubba Wallace, you have to sit back with your team and say, all right, looking at the current landscape of our country right now, if I go public with this and say there was a noose hanging in the garage, especially what happened with Jessie Smollett, is this the right move? Could this have been something else before going to the press with something like this?
Right.
Me personally, I would have really sat back and said, all right, this is attached to the garage door, and this is how this opens up and down.
Let's really calm down with this.
Let's calm down with it. And NASCAR, to their credit, during all of this for the past 2 weeks, has been nothing but gracious and admitting towards potential racist past and getting rid of the Confederate flag and everything else. Once you say the word noose, and you are Bubba Wallace, who was just raced under a Black Lives Matter car that was specifically made for you for that race, you are the only black race car driver in NASCAR. You've got to sit down and say, is this a story that I really want to come forward with? Because if it's not, if this wasn't hung there by some redneck racist, the entire world is going to come down on me like Jessie Smollett. And that is exactly what is happening right now. And there is weird excuses, not only from his side, but his mom has now jumped into the fray on this. And I would have had a very long conversation with my PR team and everyone that was involved on my race team and said, hey, guys, is there any possibility that this was something else and someone else did this?
We can't have this. This is going to mess up any momentum.
Correct.
That we have.
And that's the problem with all of this, is once you have a movement that is this big, something like this throws a fucking wrench in that movement where it's just like you have white people on your side for all of this shit. 98% of it, you have white people on your side for everything that you're going through. Something like this, where everybody's like, oh, fuck, deflates your cause. And him in particular should have been very, very cautious with something like this.
I think that's...
And pose the question of was this something else other than somebody planting this in my garage?
Yeah, and I think that's probably what he's kicking himself over, because every interview that he's doing, he's very frustrated, he just seems seriously pissed off and keeps talking about his team. I don't know if that's the real deal, but no one does, and no one's going to believe him regardless. I think he's probably like, whatever it is, like, fucking A, whether it's his fault or not, whether it's he should have, looked more into it or not, or he believed the team and they suck. I don't know. It's
your name on it. So, you look at, he's the race car driver. You look at like Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
On a movie, there's 200 people that work for Steven Spielberg. They don't give a shit. An audience doesn't give a shit if somebody else fucked up something else or whatever happens. Steven Spielberg's the one that's taking the heat for it. I can't name one person on Bubba Wallace's race car, his pit crew, or any of that shit. No. All I know is Bubba Wallace. That's it.
Yeah.
All of this is going to come back to Bubba Wallace. He should know that. Most celebrities know that. Why he didn't sit with this and take time with it instead of going out to the track and, they had that emotional thing where he was crying in the car in the interviews, and all anybody wanted to talk about was the noose and the racism and the problems that is going on in the world. And then boom, the next day you get 15 FBI agents saying, this is fake. This isn't real. This has been hanging in the garage for close to a year now at this point because it pulls down the fucking garage door. It's a bad look.
Right.
It's a bad look for NASCAR. And let's face it, NASCAR has already had a shitty year. You start with the opener, the Daytona 500. That is their Super Bowl. That is their biggest event of the year. That leads off the race season. And, you have the president. President gets out there. Trump. Yeah, dude. He took the beast out, the limo, drove it around the track. It was an iconic moment.
Right.
What happens a half hour later? Race starts, rain delay. Race gets rained out. They had their highest ratings ever at that point. Race gets rained out. Boom. They finished it the next day. Nobody really ends up watching.
Right.
Then you have the COVID, right? Have COVID, nukes out all sports. Then they said, you know what? We can still do iRacing. That'll be a fun thing. We can go online and race in simulated vehicles. That'll be awesome. What happens during that? You have a driver live on air say the N-word with a hard R on that one, live on air. He gets suspended. He's thrown out for the rest of the year. Top 10 driver. One of the superstars in the sports, gone because of racism. Mm-hmm. Now after the COVID, you have the George Floyd protests, Black Lives Matter, everything else. Everybody's protesting and rioting. NASCAR decides, hey, man, we're going to get rid of the Confederate flags at all NASCAR events. It's a big deal in NASCAR. It was a huge boost for the sport. And then a week later, this happens. And it's like, all right, man, people are back to not caring about NASCAR again. So I don't know how NASCAR as a sport recovers from this. I don't know how Bubba Wallace recovers from this. Is every meme that's going around today is versions of him slowly fading into Jussie Smollett, and they look very similar. They do.
I just don't. I can't.
Can't what?
I can't with him. I don't know. Bubba Wallace. I feel like he definitely got. I feel like he got snowed on this one, but I don't know.
I couldn't with Jussie. To be honest, I couldn't believe it either with Jussie Smollett before this happened. Look, I raised the same question, and so did you. The day that this happened, I was like, this doesn't seem right. We've been to Chicago many times, and there's cameras everywhere, and it's 2:15 in the morning. It's minus 30. There's no way anybody's out in the goddamn streets in Chicago now. And with this, man, because I saw the photo. You saw the photo of the noose and what it was, and it was just like, boy.
What we freaked out about. Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is I was like, can I get a picture of this thing? What is, I know somebody took a picture, right, when they saw it?
They did, yeah. And it's the same thing we asked yesterday. I was like, there's got to be footage. The footage was released. The pictures were released. And when you saw it, you were like, huh. Not one of you sat back and said, maybe we should ask around and see if this is something else, or maybe call somebody in first and be like, hey, guys, just kind of checking who was here before. What happened during this one? Sure. So I don't know. I think for the the movement itself, this is certainly harmful. It's definitely harmful for NASCAR, and then for Bubba Wallace himself. No matter what he does in his racing career, he will be remembered for this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Did he have anything to do with it or not do? I don't know, but recognizing who you are in the moment is very, very important, and he is too big of a figure right now to have something like this happen or allow it to happen. If it was his team or somebody else, he should have stepped in and said, hey, guys, let's get all the facts on this one. This is going to be a gigantic news story, and there's no way out now. So, yeah, I'm not happy that I got this right yesterday. And again, I questioned myself on the way home of I don't know. Now, I have even more questions about everything I read, hear, and see, and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm back in the same spot I was yesterday. Or I'm like, what's next? What's the next thing that's going to happen that may or may not be true? And then do you talk about it? Do you not talk about it? Because if you voice your opinion and it's not real, you're going to get fucking hammered for that. You voice your opinion and it is real, people will call you a genius. There's no winning here with this as far as the news cycle goes. That's why I was afraid about the Crystalia thing. I was like, man, we talked about this the other day. I was like, I'm not going to go all in on this because I really don't know. I don't know him personally. And I'm not sure, but I would imagine people will take the time to find out. And then sure enough, this morning, his agency, CAA, has fired him as a client. CAA is the biggest agency in Hollywood. It's probably them, UTA, and man, it used to be ICM, but we'll go with UTA and CAA right now. It's kind of the onesie twosies of it. They fired him across the board, agents and managers and stuff like that. So there has to be something to this, because Crystalia brings in a lot of money, and in particular, in a time of no movie stars right now, the lot of money I'm discussing is stand-up. You were able to fucking make 6 figures every time he performs, and like, you'd have to do probably 6 movies a year to make the kind of money Crystalia is making just off of stand-up right now. And let's face it, no one's doing 6 movies a year. Either that or you're The Rock and you're making fucking $30 million a picture. But let's face it, there's only 5 of those guys out there, and the rest of them are working like this guy. There had to have been more to this to give up that money, because Hollywood is so shitty that they will wait until the last second of like, are you still making money? You're still making money? Okay, we're not going to fire you. Kevin Spacey still is a manager out there. That's how much they don't want to give up the potential money.
Right.
So something had to have been there with the Crystalia thing. I saw an extended statement from Whitney Cummings. Was that the one you were talking about yesterday?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay. So I read that extended statement this morning. That was part of this press release.
I paraphrased it, but
okay. Yeah, it was part of this press release from the Deadline article that I read. And Deadline, by the way, is an insider, super insider look into Hollywood. Like, there's probably 5,000 people that read that goddamn thing a day, because it's just stories about upcoming productions and things like that.
It's very insider.
Right. But that being said, everyone in the industry reads it, and now everybody in the industry read this article this morning, and I don't know where he goes from here with that, because an underage thing is hard to kind of beat.
Yeah,
but
because so Louis C.K., right?
Jacked off in front of people.
No one underage, and some of it was over the phone, and that one, I actually don't know how he kind of came back from that, but isn't he doing shows and stuff?
He's doing shows, but he's not back.
Right.
He shot a stand-up special with his own money, which he's done in the past. He's done it with a lot of things, actually.
Yeah.
And sold it off of his website, I think for $7 a pop, I want to say. And again, he's done a lot of that type of stuff in the past, and he's been very successful at it. I don't know what that did. I didn't hear anything about it. I don't even know anybody who watched it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
The underage thing is hard, and especially right now.
You take Aziz Ansari. He shot a special after he got Me Too'd or whatever. And, me, you, and I think a lot of people looked at his situation like, man, that was a shitty date, and there's no way this should have happened. But, he still has not returned to Masters of None, his Netflix show. And Netflix has asked, by the way. Netflix has asked, like, hey, man, we support you. Come back and shoot your show whenever you want. And he still has not done it yet. No,
and like I said in that special, you could tell that he really, really got affected by this and was just like
comedically
devastated about the public shaming, for sure. And it really he's just like, I'm not ready. In the beginning of his special, he addresses it in a real sincere way. You know?
Here's the thing. When you get
It
kneecaps
took him
like
down.
that,
Yeah.
when you get kneecaps like that, it is hard as a comedian to come back and tell jokes, especially the way you used to tell them, especially if you're crass and, me. Like, it's hard to tell all the fucked up shit you want to say when the audience knows you did something fucked up. And they're like,
Right.
oh, are you talking about your real life now? Or are you talking about whatever's going on?
Right.
So...
And comedians like that and Crystalia and all of them are kind of inherently insecure. There's some like shit going on with them. They're like real road dogs, you know?
Right.
So I think for him that was a pretty hard blow, and he took it. He took it harder than like everybody else took it. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Where you're saying Netflix was like, we're good, and he's like, I'm not. Like, I just want to disappear. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Like, if I was Crystalia, I would disappear. Get rid of all of it. Get off the internet.
Yeah.
Disappear. And let the criminal situation, if any,
there isn't,
come to you.
Yeah. So Whitney's full statement was, I was devastated and enraged by what I have read and learned. When you say the word learned, that means you...
Yeah, I don't think she would have made a statement if she didn't know something.
Because that's a powerful word to leave in a statement, the word learned. That means you talked to somebody and somebody had a fucking answer. This is a pattern of predatory behavior. This abuse of power is enabled by silence. Now that I am aware, I won't be silent. That is a bold statement from probably one of her best friends, I would imagine. Not only do they do that show together, but those two are always doing stand-up. Those are lifers. They do fucking stand-up every goddamn night. So, additionally, Comedy Central, Hulu, and Amazon Prime have all removed an episode of the series Workaholics, which features Crystalia as a child molester. So now they're just going back into catalogs and ripping shit. Talked about 30 Rock yesterday.
You has got to be gone, right?
No. So at the end of this article, it says that, D'Elia had appeared in a 3-episode arc on the Netflix series You last year, in which he played a man who menaces a 15-year-old girl. D'Elia's character Henderson was killed off and won't be appearing in season 3 of the show, is their statement. It'd be hard with a series like You to pull that, because if you pull those 3 episodes,
you'd have to pull the whole.
You have to pull the hoe?
You'd have to pull the hoe.
You have to pull the hoe. You have to pull the whole season.
The whole season.
Because it's a big storyline throughout all of it.
Pull the hoe. I'm trying to think of, I don't want to change the subject, but I'm trying to think of what this summer is going to be called. Because there was Hot Girl Summer.
Oh, yeah.
Sad Boy Fall.
Sure.
Is it Sick Girl Summer?
Sick Girl Summer. I don't know what we're going to do with this summer.
Is it? Yeah.
Summer of Rage.
Rage Summer.
I have no idea what's going on. I really don't.
I'm in the market
for a new.
I'm in the market
phrase?
for a new. I need to
fun and flirty, or like.
I'm trying to turn it around.
Okay.
Trying to turn it around for myself and for everyone involved.
Mm-hmm.
I want to turn this whole thing around. How do we make it like a fun summer, because they're closing everything back down?
I don't know that you can. Yeah, and we have
I don't mean to like
depressing news story. We're actually gonna hop on Drinking Bros live this afternoon and break this news story. No one knows it yet, but it's not gonna make the summer any more funner. I can tell you that. I don't know how you make this fun anymore. If you look at what's happening right now across America, the protests, COVID. Now more people are getting sick. CNN put out a fucking article that said, we've done studies and the protests for Black Lives Matter have definitely not contributed to COVID cases. If you can pull that up,
how'd they do that? While you're pulling that up, I'll read.
It was one of the crazy. Write CNN though. You've got to write CNN in that. And I'm like, are you fucking crazy? Did they have the right to protest? Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
But dude, everybody was locked in their house. We'd been opened up for a week, and then 50 million people flooded the streets. That is exactly what's going on. Yes. So put this entire headline up on the screen,
have not
Alec.
led to a spike.
Yeah.
coronavirus cases.
So Black Lives Matter protests have not led to a spike in coronavirus cases, research says. Why would you put that article out? Of course it has. Of course it has.
What
and and here's the thing. Nobody's faulting Black Lives Matter. A protest is a protest, man. Shit got fucked up in America, and a guy died, and everybody went out to the streets to protest. Normal. What's not normal is the fucking COVID shit that we've been going through because of China and everything else. Of course people are going to take to the streets and forget about COVID and everything else because they're pissed off. But saying that this did not contribute to a spike in coronavirus cases is fucking crazy to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is painting a ridiculous narrative that there's no way there is 1 ounce of truth in this.
Yeah.
Not one single fucking way that there's an ounce of truth in this article. It is so irresponsible to even write something like this. Like, of course it is. Of course it is. Everyone has been in their houses, and we all went out into the streets. Everyone went out into the streets to see what was going on, what was happening, and to protest. Mm-hmm. Of course this is the reason why. Mm-hmm. No, but let's blame it on Georgia opened up early. Fucking Texas opened up early for people to get their hair cut. I'm sure people getting their hair cut is why magically the coronavirus cases has spiked in the last 2 weeks.
I mean,
it must have been all those haircuts.
The precautions they're taking at salons are like, that's the safest place you can be.
Yeah. Fuck. If you want to not get COVID, why don't you roll into a fantastic Sam's this afternoon? Throw down a 20 spot, dude.
See how you can
non-COVID you could get. Yeah, they've got
can't touch anything. You can't bring anything in. Nope. You have to wear the mask the entire time. Like,
you do not feel fantastic inside.
No,
kind of feel mediocre. They should change the name of that. Mediocre Sam's. I'm gonna start protesting for that. I want mediocre Sam's to be a thing.
Summer of Sadness,
Summer of Sadness. I like that. Who said that?
Richard Danoff. Pale Girl Summer.
Pale Girl Summer.
Sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Bubble Boy Summer.
You can't go to Tanner. You can't go get tans.
You can't.
And they want you to go back inside now. Mm-hmm. So, Bubble Boy Summer.
Bubble Boy. We All Gonna Die Summer. Karen's Christmas in July. Interesting. That's a fun one.
Karen's Christmas in July is a good one.
Bend Over Summer. Quarantine and Chill.
Yeah.
Summer of Suck. Now I get it. Now you guys are kind of not getting the point. I want to make it, good.
No, people are depressed.
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay.
And especially with what is happening, like, again, watching the news, everything's shutting down. We all need to go back inside, fucking hide. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be continued on. And, it's not going to be good for sports. I can tell you that. We're not going to have any distractions. It's going to be news. And then this election is going to be jammed down your fucking throat for the next 4 months. So buckle up, kids. It is going to be a long, hot, fucking ridiculous summer. We're already going through problems here. We had this on Drinkin' Bros last night, but we didn't fully get to tell you, I don't think, what happened. So most of the nation is going through a heat wave right now, including in North Carolina. What was it, fucking 98 degrees?
Yeah, we're not quite in the heat wave yet, though.
Pretty close, right? But the problem with that is,
we're not.
Well, but when it gets to be 98 degrees and Nick Lachey's not around, it's a fucking problem. And the reason why is everybody's still inside. Most of the things aren't open. We still don't have gyms open up here.
Right.
Half the restaurants aren't open. Now they're shutting down. They're
shutting them back down.
So they are.
Yeah, so there were some restaurants that I went to downtown that are now closed back up.
Got it.
Because once one person gets whatever, then they need to close the whole thing down, do a deep clean. It's just all a bunch of bullshit.
It's a fucking mess. What's happening is when it's this hot, you don't have anywhere to go, and you're stuck inside like this, air conditioning, jack through the roof. Netflix, everything you're using electrically is fucking, it's like the fucking meter in Christmas Vacation, where it's just ramped up. We had 2 or 3 power outages yesterday here on this block or this grid or however you want to call it. And dude, our show went dead we were live on air for Drinkin' Bros for like 5 whole minutes. YouTube's got a fun little flirty thing where it allows you just to keep going.
Oh, but they can't.
So we sat there for 5 minutes, and we were able to get back up, and the audience stayed with us. It was still 100 people who sat there.
Wow.
A 5-minute blackout.
I bet it was a lot of the nooners for sure.
Dulesky was in there. Kreger Dulesky was in there. And I believe Nico the Greco was in there. Ruben Schneider was first on the board today. He's back on top.
Back on top. He got it taken away for one day only.
But get used to that, because as this heat wave continues and cases have spiked, in particular in California and Texas, I don't really know why. Those two in general. California's been shut down for a while. They never opened up for dick. Obviously it's the protest, but there wasn't that many
It's the protest, but it's also people go outside more. So the parks, the beaches.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Every single day, it's 70 and sunny.
Yeah.
So if you can go outside, you do.
So, Fauci's testifying yesterday, and people are divided of, hey, man, do we all get it and move on with our lives? Or what do we do now? And I don't know. This is only going to, I feel, intensify, and it's going to intensify people's feelings on it. And I almost feel as if this election might come down to mask or no mask, coronavirus or no coronavirus. And it's tough. Europe is now thinking about banning American travel. So we're going to be on a ban list. The United States of America is going to be on a ban list to travel to Europe.
Cool.
China is allowed to travel to Europe.
Cool.
But United States is not. So I
we're
wonder.
Just not going to go anywhere. No one's going to come here. We'll quarantine the nation. We'll all get it, and then that's it.
Yeah. And I'm torn on what's going to happen now for not only the fall, but for sports and everything else, but for the election as well. Like, what do you do? Do people even go out for it? Because I was looking at, there was some primaries yesterday, and super low turnout, obviously. And it's like, there was a kid here who I'd love to have on the show. Alec, look up the 24-year-old from North Carolina who won his primary yesterday in a runoff. He's a military veteran, and he's in a wheelchair. It's a crazy story. Yeah, pull him up. There he is. His name is Madison Cawthorn, I believe. Scroll down. Not that fast. Yeah, Madison Cawthorn, that's it. He won. He's 24 years old. And he's running for representative. And he won his fucking primary yesterday.
Oh, my God.
24 years old. How crazy is that?
Very.
But a lot of it was people were afraid to go out and vote, and there were some mail-in ballots and some other things. And him being youth being on his side here, he was able to take advantage of social media and other things. And it's an awesome story, I think. And I'd love to have this guy on the show. But
love it.
The guy he was running against in the runoff was a Trump-backed candidate. So Trump backed him, and so did Ted Cruz. But
this guy won.
But he's also a Republican, and he also loves Trump.
Okay.
Why they were going after the other guy, I think because they think that he's got a better shot to beat the Democrat in November. But either way, this is an impressive story and has garnered a lot of attention this morning because of this primary that was held yesterday. But nobody really went out to it to vote. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if that's going to be the same in November, where it's just like you have Biden and you have Trump. People don't really care about Biden. Some people are pissed off about Trump over all of what's been going on this summer. What's the turnout going to be? Could be a record low, and I don't know who's going to win. Dan and I talked about this on Drinking Bros Sports last night, but the odds have been updated in Vegas, and Biden is now the favorite. So on mybookie.com, promo code Drinking Bros doubles your deposit. Biden is now the favorite in Vegas. Vegas doesn't fuck around with shit like that. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. You see these polls where it's like, hey, man, you got these dominant leads, but what happens if we are stuck inside again? Do you go out and vote, and what happens then? That's why naming this summer, or whatever it's going to be, is tough to name it anything other than some form of depressing thing. Because would I like to be out on the beach, down in Zima's, doing key bumps? Goddamn right I would. You know?
You can't do that.
A 2 p.m. key bump here and there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that if they're going to shut the beaches down. Because it's like you said, where's the one place that everybody wants to gather along the coast during the summer.
So their beaches, I think, are going to stay open. What they're doing is restaurants are closing back down. They're talking about closing back down salons. They're talking about it. I never thought that they could put the monkey back in the cage or whatever. Genie back in the bottle, whatever.
Monkey back in the cage?
I don't know.
Has the monkey come out of the cage?
No, but like I never thought that like once you, and a lot of people say this, like once you let people out, you can't then like they'll never go back in.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like it'll be less and less every time. So it'll be like people that are like, dude, fuck this.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm out. We've seen the other side. We're eating at restaurants. We're getting back to life. We're getting our business back a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean, like the monkey's out, the genie's out of the bottle. You cannot, nobody's going to go for that shit.
Yeah.
But if you have to do it, if it's a law, then I guess that's the only way.
Yeah, because you and I are headed to Austin, Texas in a couple weeks here. And I booked a studio for us to continue the podcast and all that other stuff and blah, blah, blah. With that being said, I got an email this morning that said, hey, man, we got an ordinance from the governor that says you guys are going to have to record in separate rooms.
You and I?
It says we'll still be able to see each other, and there will be monitors for us, but you and I will be separated. So this isn't going to happen.
I'm fine with it.
That's what I wrote back. I go, she's fucking fine with it.
No, but before that, we're going to be on the phone anyway, so
they sent me the ordinance because I booked this studio. I'd gotten this ordinance from the mayor that they had attached with this email, and I pulled it open and I was like, "What the fuck?" And the guy was super apologetic. He's like, "Hey man, I'm super sorry about this, but you know, we got this weird mayor in Austin and whatever and blah blah blah." And I was like, it's fine." And I once I started to read it, I was like, "Wait, huh?" I'm gonna. It's going to be very Liv Tyler, Bruce Willis.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. We should
don't want to close my eyes.
I don't
Is it weird that have you used the Bruce Willis in that sitch?
Me as the Bruce Willis?
I think that I should probably live for the next generation.
The hero? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I should
the hero of the story? Yeah. It makes sense
that
you think of me that way because I'm the one that sacrifices everything for the good of the world. Yeah. I see why you think that. And then you're sort of like a soft-skinned sort of nymph.
No,
yeah.
I'm the guy that's left behind to repopulate the entire world with great genes and everything. So that's kind of more along the lines of it.
No, and I think that's actually true.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get her bald cap. We're going to get the whole Bruce Willis do down there, hire a makeup artist, and maybe recreate that. And then I'll get some extensions in my hair. I've got a head of salad.
You're going to go blonde. No, you need to go.
Brown hair, yeah, Liv Tyler. Brown
you don't
hair.
want to get a shake and go wig or something like this?
No, I think I need extensions.
You want it to be permanent.
I want it to be believable. Yeah. What do you mean permanent? They sew those into your scalp?
No, but I mean it will last for a while. Instead of just putting on a wig for the show, you want to like then go to dinner that night with your extensions in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
I'm just wondering how far.
I'll take it as far as we can go. Because when you say go to dinner that night, what are we talking about? The drive-through of Long Dong Silvers? That's where.
I just hate how you won't let me like be
dongers.
Positive.
No, I will. If you want to be positive, be positive. Look, I'm certainly not here to fucking pull my dick and balls out and piss on someone's parade.
Yeah.
I'm not do that. Like, I'll go off the parade route.
Right now, it's sort of whatever anybody has to do, right? And I think you believe that. Like, I think we talked about it the other day. You were like, whatever anyone has to do at this point to get through.
Yeah. Yeah. I will do it.
Long Dong.
Boom.
What is
Long
this?
Dong Silvers, dude. He's a
porn star.
He's
okay,
a porn
please.
Star. I'm a gigantic fan of chain restaurants, in particular Long John Silver's. I fucking love it. I have not seen one in years. I got the distinct pleasure of stopping at one in Georgia on a long drive back, and it made my entire life. Do not show a clip of that man's penis. We will get banned immediately.
Do not.
Alec,
but
do not do that.
Yeah. Point being, whatever people have to think. So
Look, do drugs.
If I still do drugs.
Go out in public. I don't give a shit. Do
drugs.
You want.
Like, if you find some place that you can go.
Find your happiness.
To dinner.
Yeah.
Just go.
Go do it.
All the time.
Absolutely.
Pretend that everything else is open. I don't.
Go to speakeasies.
Live in a fantasy world. Like, whatever you need to do.
I don't either. Put up a sex dungeon in your barn. If you live in a rural area that you won't get caught or nobody can hear your screams, do that if that's what makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? Live life.
Right. And now we're getting into dangerous.
Live life and love.
Territory where we're telling people to do.
Have a spotter nearby.
Whatever they.
Safety first, kids. If you're on a sex swing, you got to watch out for that height. And then if you're strangle baiting, you definitely need to be.
And you also need to make sure that a professional puts in that hook at the top and finds a stud.
Yes.
Find a stud.
Find a stud's pretty easy.
Find a beam.
Wink. A beam, yeah. Well, you need to find a beam, for sure.
To put the hook in.
Oh, I thought the sex swing. I was like, man, that's going to be heavy. Yeah, you got to find a beam for that too.
Yeah. You can't just make sure you're not putting it into drywall.
Yeah, I wish we could play just live music. If it Sheryl Crow, if it makes you happy right now in the middle of the show, it'd be fucking fantastic right now. Because that's exactly how I feel. Do whatever you want that is legal. Or actually, I'm sorry. Don't touch kids. Don't fuck minors. Everything else is probably on the table, right?
Yeah. Wait.
Are those the two?
Get consent.
Yeah, obviously.
That can cover a lot of different things.
Obviously, yeah.
No underage.
Yes. Don't fuck minors and don't touch kids and whatever else is probably fine, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, drugs, drinking.
Try out a different sex if you want. Try dudes, Get sucked off in a car.
Yep.
You got to get out of the house at some point. If you're into that or maybe thought about that, maybe that'll help get you through the summer, whatever's going to happen
That's just where I'm at.
Yeah. Look, and I'm with you. And again, I don't want to dampen anything, but just kind of want to report what's actually going on in the world.
No.
Strange.
What?
No, it's strange that I did not think this was going to happen. I really didn't believe this was going to happen.
I do too. But I don't want to be also I don't want to be I don't know what's going to happen in a month or whatever. I don't know when we're going to be there recording. Month and a half, whatever.
Wait, in Austin?
Yeah.
July 9th.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe there's a restaurant, you know what I mean, around the corner that we can go. I don't know. I'm not going to I'm not going to think that everything's closed unless I go to the place and it's closed.
I don't think.
Do you know what I mean? That's how I feel.
I think most of Texas is not going to give a fuck and shit's going to be open. So,
Right.
I'm fine with it. Austin's a different beast.
Right.
Who's saying something?
They're just saying stay out of Austin.
Stay out of the...
Yeah, and it was a little bit...
The city itself?
Yeah, I think it's going to take them a second. But there's places all outside the city and everything.
Here's the thing. Austin is a gigantic city. Yeah. So it's dude, most gigantic cities are going to be like that. I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah.
Now, the outskirts, when you start going to other towns and things like that, shit, man, especially these mom and pop places need to be open.
Yeah.
Because that is depressing to think about. If we go through another cycle of this and these guys get hammered again, then what? What is there, more stimulus checks or something? What happens to the economy at that point?
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about it, to be honest with you.
Okay, cool.
So we'll just move on and do some sponsors.
Sounds good.
That allow us to be on the air and talk shit. First and foremost, ghostbed.com/drinking bros. If you're in the fucking need. If you're in the need right now for a mattress.
If you're in the need.
It's not a phrase, not even a proper
if you're in the market.
Use of words. If you're in the market, there we go. For a new mattress. Go to ghostbed.com/drinking bros today. 25% off mattresses. And look, if you're going to be stuck inside, it's going to be hot. Get the cooling mattress. That is a new mattress, the Lux. Cooling mattress, 15 degrees cooler than normal mattresses. And you can get the adjustable base with the remote control in it. Pop a flashlight into the side. It's got USB ports. And go to town. Live your truth. Find your happiness this summer with ghostbed.com/drinking bros. As always, they get a 36-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest at ghostbed.com/drinking bros. And right now they're giving away 2 free pillows when you order a mattress. Whew. Do it. Ghostbed.com/drinking bros today. Next up, James, we got StrikeForceEnergy.com.
Boom, 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 boom.
StrikeForceEnergy.com's got 4 amazing flavors. Look, I'm hopped up on it every day. I've been drinking this shit for 4.5 years. Ain't gonna stop, ain't gonna quit.
You're definitely hopped up on it today.
As always, I feel like I'm always
Have to be.
ripe and ready to go.
Have to be.
Go to strikeforceenergy.com today and get yourself one of 4 amazing flavors: grape, orange, lemon, and orange. No carbs, no sugars, no gluten, but a lot of fun. I learned a lot about living in a little about love. Is that Alan Jackson? God, he used to beat the shit out of his wife, and I love his music. Hard to reconcile, but I do it anyways. I just jammed out to Chattahoochee the other day. R.I.P. Alan. Not sure if he's dead or alive. Maybe you can look that up, Alec. But if he is, his wife's definitely not going to miss him. Go to strikeforceenergy.com today. Promo code Revolution gets you 20% off. They ship everywhere in the entire world there, too. And it comes in this box right here. So you can boom, boom. Pop a couple squirts in and go. Go to strikeforceenergy.com today. Promo code Revolution, 20% off. Last but not least, we've got keeps.com/revolution. Keep the hair you got, kids. I was on a chain with my buddies last night who were still doing the keeps, and they were like, yo, man, this shit works, and I'm still using it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to give it till the end of the year.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm on the keeps train, dude. We'll see.
It won't hurt you.
No, it will not.
Let's say that
at
least,
right?
right?
keeps.com/revolution. It is free. It is a 30-day trial to keep the hair you got on your head. It's a shampoo, a little concoction. You put it on a shower, you're good to go, dude. And I'll give you that update at the end of the summer. So we'll let you know. Keeps.com/revolution. More weird stories, man, involving fucking dudes today.
Yeah, what's
Ron
up?
Jeremy went down.
Now, what?
Ron Jeremy went down.
No.
He was charged with sexually assaulting 4 women. Some were recent, some were in the early 2000s. I believe the bail is probably going to be set around $6.6 million.
Really?
Yes. 3 were rapes, forcible rapes, from what I understand in this. And here's my insider knowledge on Ron Jeremy. Sadly, I hate to say this. It's probably true.
Okay.
I've heard about this from a few women. And what happened was we had cast him as like a throwaway role in Range 15. It was like a joke of like, hey, there's Ron Jeremy popping up, right? He was on set. He was a pleasant guy to work with, I will say this.
Sure.
Weird guy. Stayed and ate all the craft services.
Yeah.
Had 4 or 5 spaghettis and then took some home. Dead serious. Ron is definitely on some hard times.
Sure. Just
but
stealing from veterans. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, pop that picture up, the second one, Alec. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, pop that one up. Pop that one up on screen. We had some women on set that day that had spent a lot of time in LA, and they said Ron has popped up at parties and been very aggressive towards women and things like that. He's pulled his dick out a lot of times at parties. Obviously, it's Ron Jeremy, the Hogfather himself.
Sure.
Hedgehog, goes by a bunch of monikers. Yeah, you can pop that picture up as well, Alec. That one right there. Yeah, that's him in action, back in his prime, right? Back in his prime. Is that picture up? Yep. That is Ron Jeremy, a.k.a. the Hedgehog, in his prime right there. Prime Ron Jeremy, which is still not the best Ron Jeremy, but that's what we'll do, Ron Jeremy. All right, cool, man. He's always been like a funny type of gag, right?
Yeah.
He was one of the biggest porn stars in the world at one point. To not live that life anymore and not have sex with that caliber of women and all that shit probably took a toll on him. But sadly, I've heard this predatory style from different women about Ron Jeremy recently from one of our friends. And he confronted him about it.
Oh, yeah.
You listened to the phone call. It was recorded. It was at a friend of ours' house, and he was sending dick pics to very, very famous celebrities, asking them if they wanted to fuck, telling him how much they wanted to fuck them, and blah, 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 blah. So they will have no shortage of witnesses in that are going to turn in evidence against Ron Jeremy. He's probably going away for life for this one. I'm not. This one's not a shock to me. Did I know that he was raping people? Absolutely not. Or else I would have came out and said something. But,
right.
When I heard these stories, I was like, really? You know, kind of seems like a fun guy or whatever. And yeah, so he's probably going down. Now, on the flip side of this, I was shocked to see maybe 20 minutes later last night, a guy who's actually in prison for rape, Bill Cosby,
right,
might be getting out.
Yeah, what is up with this one?
Apparently, his appeal or whatever appeal he filed,
and that's
the court is going to hear it.
Right, and so the deal with him getting out
by the Supreme Court.
The deal with him getting out, I think.
Well, here's the deal with him, right? His original sentence was 3 to 10 years.
Right.
He has served 2 years of this.
Yeah.
Now, what this allows him is to kind of get in and out of jail a little bit.
Yeah.
Have some normal food. At least get to see some folks.
While you're waiting appeal.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the judge could very well say by the time that this gets to trial, hey, man, it was a 3 to 10 year sentence. I'm not sure. I don't know if the state wants to spend this kind of money. I don't know if we want to spend the taxpayers' money. Let's just let him out.
Right.
And I think that's where they were going with this last night. Because by the time that this actually goes to courts, they could say, all right, time served. We don't know. And I think what they're going off of to allow this opportunity to appeal is the fact that these cases happened, 20 years ago.
Right.
I'm not sure how you prove that in today's world. You know what I'm saying? Because who else is going to go through this? Danny Masterson.
Yeah.
Danny Masterson's going to go through this exact thing. All of those cases were in 2003, 2004. How do you go back 20 years ago and know what happened in that room at that time unless there's video evidence? Now, in the case of Cosby, there was no video evidence of it.
Right. There was just 50 women.
Correct.
Which is enough, really. So
one would think, right? But there still has to be some form of evidence, which is why they allowed this in. Do I think Cosby's guilty? Yes, of course I do. I don't know about the Danny Masterson thing. I have no fucking idea.
For the first time being
Yeah, because he got out right away. Danny Masterson got out right away, so he's out right now.
And he's
but Cosby's still in prison.
Out and about? I would be fucking at home.
Well, it looks like he's in the woods somewhere, some form of farm. So I don't know, man, where Danny Masterson's at. But how do you go back 20 years and try to figure this shit out and recreate it unless there's some form of evidence? Like you look at the Monica Lewinsky thing. There was a dress with DNA on it.
Right.
There was no getting out of that one.
Right.
I don't know. To my knowledge, I don't know if there was any DNA in the Cosby case. I'm sure they're going to fight about that. The Danny Masterson thing will probably involve that as well. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Ron Jeremy thing of how they're going to pull that, but it certainly is not preventing people from going to prison because Bill Cosby's there.
Right.
So strange, man. Strange time right now that's going on.
I know.
Because some other people are going to be charged later on down the road for this shit. Weinstein's the next one up in L.A. And you know the crazy thing about it, with how fucked up the world has been and all these crazy news stories, I'd forgotten about Bill Cosby.
Yeah. When
Once
I
he
saw that, I was like, oh.
As we were doing a show that day live on air.
I just thought that was it.
So did I. We were doing a show live on air that day, and I thought to myself, all right, he just got 10 years. He's going to die in prison. I think he's 82 years old now.
Yeah.
He's going to die in prison. I was like,
we're going to hear about him dying.
When he popped up again, I was like, oh, shit. That's right. He's still alive, and he's in fucking jail.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about Bill Cosby. People will forget about Ron Jeremy, too. I can guarantee it. Now, the interesting thing, if Ron Jeremy goes to prison, is now if he puts that hog in someone,
right.
Is he the one to be feared in prison?
Yeah, I don't. I don't know.
Got to do gay porn before you do straight porn.
Know.
So he's been there. He's had to have been there at some point.
Sure.
Had to have been there. Another weird story that popped up last night was Little Rascals star. Remember when they remade the Little Rascals movie in the 90s?
I guess so.
They tried to make this a huge thing. Hollywood was going through a string of these. They did it with the Three Stooges.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
They remade the Three Stooges.
Yes,
I think Will Sasso was Curly, remember?
Sure.
Yeah.
I try and
put
forget,
that picture up on the screen.
And so
you remember that poster, right?
Yeah.
Put that poster up.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
So the kid that plays Alfalfa right in the middle, the sprouted hair, Cops were called yesterday, and they said, "Hey, man, I think my friend," it was his buddy, one of his best friends,
right,
said, "Hey, man, I think my friend is OD'd, and he's in a hotel room. You guys need to come here and get out there."
Right.
He was alive. They found him, but he was huffing canisters of keyboard cleaner.
Okay.
For computers.
Mm-hmm.
Found about 30 cans in that room that were empty.
Okay.
To get off. That's some dark shit, you know?
That's fun, though. Have you ever done that?
No, have you?
Oof. Fun.
Oh, you were gross,
No.
James. Oh,
No.
I was going to say.
I don't think so.
If you were huffing, what do you do for that?
No.
Do you know, Giorgio?
Are those called poppers?
No, poppers is something way different.
Oh, okay.
I don't know anything about desk cleaner. About desk cleaner or huffing that? We had a kid in the fraternity who was huffing potpourri and glaze, huffing Poe and glaze, doing it in a rag. I watched him do it one night. I was like, how do you fucking get off from that?
What does that do?
There's something in the aerosol. It goes into your. So he would put a rag over the top of it and press the button, and then it separates the shit from the aerosol. So the aerosol you're just inhaling the aerosol. I guess you get fucking high from it.
Okay.
Right? I'm assuming it's the same way with the keyboard cleaner.
Sure.
But that's a depressing one to walk into. I'm not even sure if you need to be arrested for something like that.
No, I think it's sort of just like, hey, bro.
You need a ride home?
Yeah, why was he arrested for that?
It's illegal, so you can't do it. But you know.
Okay. I mean, duh. Like, just take
you
him
did
to
save his
rehab.
life. You're still going to save his life.
No, I know, but like, yeah. Why is he going to treatment? Like, but anyway, guess you go there first.
Yeah. By the way, breaking news. Penn Badgley has now jumped into the fray.
Of what?
On Chris D'Elia. As you know, he's the lead in You. And
what did?
Did you have the picture of the Little Rascals guy? That's fine. Yeah, pop him up, man. He is pale, and he looks like he's been doing. Right there, there it is. Oh man, shit! That's a face of a guy who looks like they just got caught huffing fucking desk cleaner, isn't it? Oh, damn it! Oh, I hate to see that type of mugshot. I like the happy ones with the smiles, you know.
I like the
where
ones
it's just like,
where
I got caught huffing desk cleaner, no big deal. Computer cleaner.
I like the ones where it's people I recognize.
Yeah. Well, look, he was alfalfa. He's obviously grown up. That movie came out in the 90s, so you know.
It's a stretch, my friend. It's a real stretch.
So Penn Badgley has come out, and the guy from You, and has made a statement against Chris D'Elia. So here's the pylon point where it's this.
Yeah, this is the exact progression, right?
Yeah.
A little bit comes out. Nobody's really sure.
Yep.
A little bit more comes out. The accused needs to write some statement, whether it's admitting, denying, whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Then the sponsors start to leave. All these things start to go. And then people start to be like, hey, I don't like him either.
Yep. So is Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer has just jumped in on this as well. So he says Penn is saying this is very disturbing. The idea that a show like ours would indirectly, unwittingly be a haven for people who are abusive is disturbing. It is very disturbing.
Your show is fucking disturbing, bro.
Your show is absolutely disturbing.
Social
I love it.
media, showing people how to use social media to stalk.
To stalk people. I love it. I love the show.
Yeah. Penn, hush.
We've had the author on the show. I'm a big fan. I love You. But yeah, let's maybe tone it down.
Penn needs to hush.
Yeah. He's real fucking political and bullshitty. Like, God.
So he's not going to hush.
Guy. He's your typical actor, Hollywood, who thinks that, my words matter and I'm above the fucking thing. And
so this is, there's a book by John Ronson. Do you know John Ronson?
Sounds familiar. He's
an English guy, very distinct voice. He actually did that podcast about August.
Any relation
to
Mark Ronson?
I
feel like that whole family's famous.
Maybe.
Samantha Ronson's the sister as well.
No.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Go down.
Let's see who his siblings are. No, it would have said it.
No.
Okay.
Anyways, the book is called So You've Been Publicly Shamed. And it really goes through, like, there is such a pattern to all of this.
Yeah.
And the cycle of how it comes out and all of these things.
Yeah.
Being publicly shamed is a very strange concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
That all of us that have never done anything, right? We've never done anything wrong.
Right.
Have you? Have you ever done anything wrong?
Yes, we've all done something wrong.
You know, that jump on this.
Everybody's done something wrong.
Thing, and it feels good for people to be like, oh,
fuck that dude.
Fuck that dude. I'm so much better than him. He needs to go down. Like, who am I to be like, you know, again, with underage stuff, that gets a little bit different, but it goes across the board with all kinds of things, like a tweet that you made or something that you did, and people just fucking annihilate your entire life. The first story in it is, do you remember that? I maybe have talked about it, but do you remember that? I think she was a journalist, and she said something that she was going to Africa and hope she doesn't get AIDS or something like this. Some kind of weird fucking joke. She jumps on a plane.
Yep.
When she gets off,
she's fired
from everything. Everyone's jumped on it. She is completely
trending number one
done.
In the world,
Death threats done.
Yeah.
Over an insensitive, whatever, joking, whatever. Yeah. It's stuff like that, and it ranges, but it's such a weird fucking concept to completely fucking annihilate and ruin people.
I agree, and like that's
less than Crystalia. Now, Crystalia is a very public asshole. And that, I think, has gone against him, right? He's very publicly a complete dick, a dick to everybody.
Sure.
It's a joke, kind of, right?
Yeah. It's part of the persona.
So I think that's played against him, as you were saying earlier, where, like, he's just talking a bunch of shit.
It is, yeah.
Like,
well, it's going to play against his comedy, certainly, because he won't be able to get away with that anymore. But here's why I don't come out and go ham on somebody like Crystalia. Because I don't want to see this happen to anyone. I don't want to see it happen to the victims, and I don't want to see it happen to the celebrities either. I don't want them to do it, or I don't want this to happen to anyone out in the world. I also won't go ham on Crystalia for the fact of I enjoy his comedy. I enjoy his fucking show. I love my favorite episodes of him where he was on Fighter and the Kid, and the way he gets going with him and Brian Callen is fucking hilarious.
It's fucking hilarious.
Those episodes devastate.
Yeah.
He's funny. I don't know the real story behind the scenes. Therefore, I'm not going to go and jump on this list like everybody else and say, fuck him and on blah, 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 crazy.
The last one.
We've all made mistakes. We've all done shit in the past. We've all got skeletons. He happens to be very famous at the moment and very public. And it is easy to throw up a fucking screenshot of something and destroy someone's career or whatever else. So I don't try to make a habit out of that. If it's somebody in the case of like Bill Cosby, when there's 50 fucking women who said they've been raped and drugged, like it's a different story. If it's somebody like Michael Jackson, where it's like, dude, there's a full fucking documentary where he was licking kids' assholes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, absolutely. I'll come out and say shit.
Yeah.
But things like this where you're crushing people for like this Penn Badgley thing. Oh, you're so fucking brave that you come out and you say this is disturbing when you're on a show that is completely fucking disturbing. Like, it's coward. You're a fucking coward.
The last one that was a little disturbing to me was the Call Her Daddy stuff with the Sophia and Suitman thing. It was a lot for some, and like, not that I was worried about her, but I'm just like, dang, like that was a fucking lot with a story that isn't completely out. I mean, it was
in the case
insane.
Of that, though. Here's what I will say in the case of that. I side with Dave Portnoy from Barstool on that one. And I have been in situations where you get into negotiations for things, big contracts, and there's one asshole, a suit man, who holds it up that thinks their clients or their girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever the fuck it is more important than everyone else working on a show or a movie or a podcast or whatever it is. And they say, you know what? We demand more money. We think we should be doing this or whatever. And it was like, wait a minute. Where the fuck were you when this all started? So in the case of that one, no.
I was
clearly
more
tried to
worried.
Fuck over Barstool.
Right. I was more worried about the Sophia chick.
Right. But She's her own person.
She is her own person. She's a young girl. She was trying to do whatever. Like, it's just stuff like that where it's like, it was a lot.
When you make your show about fucking dudes and having power over men, how do you not have power over the man that you're dating? This fucking guy. That guy's a dime a dozen. Now, if you were dating Big Dick Branson or fucking Elon Musk, absolutely. Ride that train and take that rocket to fucking space with those two guys. But an exec over at HBO? Fuck off. That's my feeling on it. She could find 80 executives to have sex with. You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy's a dime a dozen versus your show, which is Call Her Daddy in this case, was it's number 2 on comedy. It has been forever. It's Joe Rogan and Call Her Daddy. It is a fucking phenomenon. Not that big of a fan of it. I like drinking broettes much better. That's just me personally. It's not even because we're married. I just enjoy the content better, and I think you guys are more well-spoken than the two of them. However, I recognize how popular it is, and like clearly some outside force is trying to fuck it up, and I wouldn't go against Dave Portnoy. It's just my... Rappaport tried it. Michael Rappaport tried it, and he got fucking torched as well.
And I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying it goes along with what I'm saying as far as public shaming and who the fuck
it is
anybody. And when it's that fucking much, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that stitch. I think it's just her hosting the show right now, right?
Yeah.
Is she going to get a co-host? Is that other girl going to come back? What's going to happen?
No, she's just going by herself, and then she's going to have guests.
Oh, that's it, huh?
Yeah.
All right. All right. I mean, it's still number 2 today. When I woke up in the morning.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Lastly, I want to bring up this picture. There's this weird Instagram account that I follow called Ronald McDonkey. Big fan of that name. Like, you know me at this point. Like, I'm a gigantic fan of anything donkey related.
Mm-hmm.
Ronald McDonkey. He makes these weird celebrity posts. There's no caption. There's no context to it. He just posts it, and that's it. I follow him. Pop up the one of Jennifer Lopez that he posted last night, Alec.
Yeah, it's up.
It's this to me really got me where I stared at this for a good 4 to 5 minutes on one Instagram post of Jennifer Lopez, because if she was not rich and famous, this is exactly, because J-Lo's 50 years old now, 50. This is exactly what she would look like right now if she was not rich and famous. Right?
Yeah.
There's no way she would have had the money to work out or get the oils and magic gypsy tears to make her skin and body look the way it is.
The work that she's got done.
Yeah.
The everything.
That is what she would look like right now.
The time. That's the other thing. Is time to work out. Time to do all these things. Right?
And because there's no sports on, like, I'll try to read something before I go to sleep. Like, I spent an unusual amount of time staring at this last night before I went to bed, simply because I was astonished of, like, man, that's really what would happen. And then I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, you just spent 5 minutes staring at some Instagram post of what Jennifer Lopez should probably look like at 50 years old. And what has your life become because you have no sports or nothing else going on in it? And I went to sleep after that, but I reminded Alec this morning when I got in the studio, I was like, hey, man, I really want to pop this picture up and show this to the people, because that's what fame and fortune can do for you folks. That should be the real J-Lo right there. That should be Jenny from the block.
Well, I've always said that too. There's
teaching first grade.
The picture of Elon Musk from back in the day to now. And the caption is, there is no such thing as ugly. There is only poor. Do you know what I mean? Like, because if you guys have that, you probably can't. But like the picture of Elon Musk when he was, let's just say 30. Okay. 27.
Yeah.
Bald. Dorky.
Wait, are we talking about Elon Musk or are we talking about Bezos? I know Bezos.
I'm talking about
that.
Elon Musk.
Really?
Yes.
Pull up Elon Musk in his 20s. Alec just got lost in Ronald McDonkey. It's a weird hole, man. If you follow Ronald McDonkey on
but
Instagram,
it's absolutely true. I need to address something else.
Oh shit! Pop up that third picture.
So,
holy shit!
And then I need also a picture of him now, because he is
Hang on. All right, so
hot.
Put that up. Put that picture up.
Put the first one up.
Put that, yeah. So the first one's up with the PayPal.
That's him with PayPal. He is a millionaire at that point.
Well,
but newly.
PayPal was new and all that other shit.
This is new. This is before you get the money.
Wow.
Look at Elon Musk.
I didn't know.
Now,
pop him up now. Holy shit.
That's a good one. I mean.
Go to the second one down underneath that. Yeah, I understand.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No such thing as ugly.
Wow.
Only poor.
I didn't know he didn't have any hair.
Look
I wonder
at
if
this.
he was using Keeps.
1999.
99. Look at that. Look at how bald he was. I wonder if he was using keeps.com/revolution. Don't know. Now, the young Elon Musk looks like an after-school special. That looks like the kid who got touched on the bus drive home, and he's got to go tell his mom, and they're going to go tell people. But wow, that one, the 99 Musk, I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
Yeesh. Anything is possible, folks. If you're watching this on YouTube at home, subscribe to Drinking Bros Podcast on YouTube. All of our shows are on there, including Ross Patterson Revolution. You'll be looking at this picture right now, and you'll say to yourself, if I'm rich enough, anything can happen.
Anything. Look at him.
Yeah, dude. He's pimpy.
He can get it.
And you know the weird thing is,
get it.
I only know him as a pimp. I didn't know that Elon Musk.
You didn't know this.
I didn't know it. Found it out live on air.
You know, and Bezos was a tough one because he's still not, I don't think, very attractive, but he's done a lot more. You know, he's something. He's jacked. He's whatever.
He's Bezos? Yeah, he's done steroids and he shaved his head. He didn't go. Yeah, so if you pop up that Bezos picture, pop that up. He's a dork.
They are dorks,
a fucking
but
dork, dude.
There's rich dorks.
And now, if you post a picture of him now, he's jacked up. He's on steroids. He's on fucking TRT.
I still wouldn't do. I wouldn't Bezos
either,
myself,
he still has
but
kind of those sloth eyes. Yeah, look at that. Put that side by side up. Fucking A, dude. Look at the big dick energy of that guy on the right. That's the richest man in the history of the universe on the right. On the left, that's just a guy trying to put his wiener inside of something, anything. A fucking a carved out pumpkin at Halloween, dude. He's trying to put it in anything that is remotely wet. The guy on the right, though, is fuck you.
Yeah.
I won't do what you tell me.
So, you know.
Man.
That's all it is. Money is everything.
It really is. I've said it on the show a million times.
We can pretty much leave the show with that. Also, everyone on the board is asking if I'm pregnant. So thanks. No. But yeah, I won't eat for the rest of the day. So thanks very much.
Way to go for that. No, they're saying is there big news. Because we keep alluding to things.
Nope. It's been the entire time people have been asking.
I don't read the things that much. But
I do. I connect with the people, and that's the difference between you and I.
Yeah, she's definitely not pregnant. Definitely not pregnant. Matter of fact, you've never looked hotter. So.
Oh, well.
What they're saying is you have a glow, and that's why. She's got her hair done, so maybe that's it. Maybe. But I got
out of quarantine.
Yeah, you did. Kids, we learned a lot about living and a little about love today, and proud of all of you. Go to Ross Patterson Revolution on iTunes. Give it a 5-star. Write a quick review. Helps scoot us on up the charts. And subscribe to Drinking Bros Podcast on YouTube, where all of our shows are. We love to see your smiling faces every day. For the Nooner crew, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Jessie Wiseman. It's her revolution today, folks. She's got a glow. I've got a glow.
Good afternoon,
everyone.